Guadalajara 0, Barcelona 2. And what a tough start for Barcelona in the Copa del Rey. A very, very tough game indeed. Guadalajara, you've got to give your everything to them, honestly. I think they just defending for their lives. They defended from minute 1 to minute 90. Obviously, the header from Christensen pretty much sealed the deal for Barcelona. Then obviously the goal from Rashford. But across the 90 minutes, they were very much in contention, even having a chance themselves with Ter Stegen making a decent save. And when you look at a team and how Barcelona were playing, very, very lethargic, very poor, not really the usual Barcelona that you will see on a week-to-week basis, especially up to now in terms of the recent run of form. And you've got to admit that these teams in the lower rank and lower division of Spain, and I know because I watch Tenerife as well, I see they play decent football. It's not mind-blowing football, but they can sometimes play good, decent football to work themselves up the pitch. And you see the states of the pitches, and that's why I keep on looking at La Liga and the whole federation in Spain. The state of the pitches are very, very bad, and it shows especially when you're looking at these kind of games. But Barcelona, that's no excuse at all. Barcelona were very poor from minute 1 till they pretty much scored, and then they pretty much turned on the burners after. And you look at them, and I said when I was looking at Rashford and the gilt-edged opportunities that Rashford had to score one-on-one opportunities, he didn't take them. He didn't take them at all. And they were making certain decisions, some certain crosses into the box. Guadalajara were defending really well. And very weird. Very, very weird indeed that Barcelona even play like this. I was expecting 4s, 5s, 6s, guys. I'm going to be honest. Expecting big score lines from Barcelona, especially the kickoff to the Copa del Rey. But Guadalajara, they showed that they done very, very decently. And they obviously can definitely take their hats off to themselves. They can definitely give themselves a pat on the back. But main issues, I think, for Barcelona today, Rashford, obviously starting the game, super, super poor. Super poor from minute 1. He was consistently trying to do the kick and run thing, pass obviously the defense, not working, some lackadaisical touches, very poor, the lethargic obviously midfield as well, how poor they were. De Jong was slow in terms of maneuvering the ball, and Barcelona, the fans themselves, they will definitely not be pleased for that result. They won't be pleased, absolutely. And you just need to look at it and say that we are in the Copa del Rey, and obviously the match is going to start becoming harder and harder and harder continuously. And Barcelona did not make a good account for it from the very first game. They didn't. They were absolutely shambolic. But yeah, absolutely. Guadalajara definitely take their hats off. The shot that they had against Ter Stegen, that was dipping and that was moving all over the place. So credit to Ter Stegen for saving that. But ultimately, Yamal was non-existent in the game. Yamal was completely missing. Very, very strange that this type of quality of team and Yamal goes completely missing from pretty much minute 1. He didn't do anything in the game. Yes, he made some crosses here and there, but unfortunately, he was a disappearing act. Disappearing. And you expect Barcelona, like I said, to really put the pressure on these type of teams, especially with the attack they have. But obviously, they made some changes here and there. We know that's going to happen. And you can see definitely without Rafinha, Barcelona still don't look the same team. They still don't look, and a lot of Barcelona fans will definitely agree with me that they don't look the same team without Rafinha. And when you see, obviously Ronnie Bardghji was decent today, and he made a very, very good threaded pass towards Rashford, and Rashford completely scuffed that shot. Keeper doing a madness today, making 2 very good point-blank saves. But you're expecting Rashford to tuck away those chances. You're expecting Yamal to even have a decent shot outside this box. You're expecting the midfield to work it quicker amongst themselves. You're expecting the defense not to be caught out, especially with a high line at the back. And if they had a bit more quality up front, maybe they could have troubled Barcelona a bit more. So Barcelona fans, and you saw Hansi Flick. Hansi Flick was completely distressed. After the goal was in, he was just static. He didn't know what to say or what to do or what actions to make. Unfortunately, he was completely dumbfounded by the lack of quality and everything in Barcelona. And you can definitely see by his reaction. If it was me, obviously, where you're looking at, obviously, the next rounds and how that's going to play out, especially against tougher teams, when it comes to the fourth round and then obviously the latter rounds after that, then the Copa del Rey definitely becomes tougher. And it does take an effect on the teams. It does definitely take an effect. But I'm not actually saying anything at the moment because Real Madrid have bigger worries tomorrow. We have bigger worries. Trust me on this one. We do. And I'm not going to say anything until we face our very first match, because you can say, and all the Real Madrid fans may be bantering Barcelona at the moment, they have no right to banter Barcelona. Real Madrid have been far worse at any current game at the moment that Barcelona have. So we have no right at all to banter Barcelona in any manner or fashion. Yes, they face a very hard kind of defensive low block. It was just literally shut up shop, doing absolutely nothing. And Real Madrid, tomorrow we got bigger fish, honestly. I'm looking at the game and I am not thinking anything positive. Nothing positive. It is kind of a Madrid derby, obviously just outside Toledo. So we need to really just put our thinking hats on and get a convincing result, because I have no idea how that match is going to fare. And when we face Talavera, it's going to be a very, very difficult match regardless. Because obviously Barcelona, the way that they started the game, you're like, okay, they put pressure. They put pressure on Guadalajara. But unfortunately, the pressure wasn't good. It was literally a lot of sideways passing, sideways moving, passing it out to Yamal, passing it to Rashford, nothing in the center. Essentially, the central focus of the team essentially was non-existent. So we're looking at Barcelona and we're saying, okay, cool, guys. Real Madrid, trust me on this one. Talavera is going to be a much more difficult, opposition for us, because we're not playing good ourselves. So they're going to have the home advantage. They're going to be playing at home. The pitch is going to be muddy. The pitch is going to be dreadful. It's going to be slow to play on. And maybe that suits Real Madrid in some fashion. But unfortunately, we're going to obviously start not the best team, because obviously we got Sevilla on the weekend. So we need to rest some players. And then Barcelona did exactly the same thing. Barcelona, the rest of the lot, obviously Yamal was playing and Rashford was playing. We know that already. And they got Villarreal on the weekend. They got Villarreal away at La Ceramica. If they win that, we know that they got probably one step into the La Liga trophy already. Yeah? So it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I think Real Madrid, we got bigger fish. We got bigger problems than this to worry about. We have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow, because we are trash ourselves, mate. Yeah? And play the Castilla players. I think the Castilla team already beat Talavera this time round already. So look, we are going to just look at this match and see what happens. But let me just get a little bit into the match, because Barcelona. So I think the main problem with Barcelona when they do face these defensive low blocks is that they try too much on the cutesy goals. They try too much to work it inside the box. They don't really have cold-hearted, I would say, players in the team that really just want to lace a shot. Yamal's lost it. Like all of Yamal's kind of ruthlessness when he plays in that position and he tries to shoot from outside the box was gone today. They were blocking him, they were moving, and, credit where credit's due. Guadalajara, they were closing him down very quickly. They were putting 3 men on him at all times and not allowing Yamal to have any space. Rashford had obviously the gilt-edged opportunities we saw already, and this is a problem, because when you look at Barcelona and you're expecting them to work it, and that's why I say Rafinha is completely different. Rafinha would lace a shot from anywhere just to even get a shot at the keeper from any distance. Doesn't really matter what it is. And you see De Jong trying to do flicks in the box and tidy crosses and trying to take the mick any which way he can. Look, even against a third team in Spain, like I said it in the group chat with the Football Chaos group, I said, Spain have very good grassroots football. They know how to play football from when they sign on to these teams and they play for, your third division teams. I know from Tenerife as well, perfect example, Tenerife, they release a lot of players out into La Liga, Segunda Division. They know how to deliver good technical footballers on the pitch. Same with Guadalajara, same with Talavera. We know that they're going to play like this. And we know that they're going to have decent technical players regardless of what division they're in. So in the FA Cup, it's different. You see more of a physical battle because the teams in the Championship and the teams in League One, they give more physical battle for the Premier League teams. And sometimes you can have major upsets. In the Copa del Rey, we've seen major upsets with Real Madrid. We know we've seen. Barcelona have had their few as well. So these major upsets from the lower league teams or teams that are in the lower half of La Liga, they're going to cause problems regardless. And because the state of La Liga is poor, the bottom half of the teams in La Liga are poor, but they still give good games to Real Madrid because they play them year on, year out. They know what kind of style they're going to play and what style to adopt to play Real Madrid, to play Barcelona. And I tell you what, Guadalajara had the perfect tactic to play Barcelona today. They just sat back. They just literally absorbed all the pressure and tried to hit Barcelona on the break. They had, especially after the goal went in, they still went for the game. They're not going to sit back. They're not going to sit back and tidy and just relax. They're going to go for the game. Yeah? So Christensen, his goal, he took it decently well. I think he took a little slight defection, but Rashford took his goal well. But I've got to say right now, yeah, all my thoughts on Rashford before the season really came into fruition in this game. You've seen it because, look, he is sometimes just very lacking that extra bit of cutting edge in terms of front of goal where you have a clear chance to score a goal. You have a clear chance to relieve a lot of these pressure of Barcelona and how they're playing against this team who are just literally sitting up short. And Ronnie Valdaji had a great pass, amazing through pass. How do you miss that one-on-one? I have no idea. Great save by the keeper, but how do you miss that one-on-one? It's crazy, man. Like, that's two one-on-ones as well. That I think it was a floating cross as well. How does he miss that in? How does he miss that shot? Literally at the back post. How does he miss it? I have no idea. And that's what Rashford does. Sometimes Rashford has the biggest bozo moments walking God's green earth. And this is exactly proof of it. Exactly proof. There's always going to be situations where you have chances against these teams, even though they're sitting back, sitting deep, trying to literally just stifle you every opportunity you have. And they have absolutely 1, 2, 3 chances that they could have taken. They could have been easily 3-0 up. We've seen it. We could have been 3-0 up. Yeah, the keeper made a howler. I don't know who shot I don't know who it was that made that shot pretty much from the halfway line trying to chip the keeper. Keeper made a howler, palmed it onto the literally post and then gathered it after. But you had chances to be 3-0 up comfortably. And you didn't take them. These chances you have to take because these matches could obviously, like, you could be closing moments and they could just score out of the blue. Real Madrid need to be extra careful of Talavera because it could be 0-0 at the 80th minute and then we concede a goal. And they just defend for their lives. And you see, Guadalajara, they were playing like it's a World Cup final today. They had an opportunity to try and beat Barcelona. They had an opportunity to literally stifle Barcelona each way they can and then maybe get a goal out of the blue from a corner, for a set piece, from a counter-attack randomly. And they had their opportunities as well. So Barcelona today is clear, obviously, that they weren't confident going into the match. They were really, really poor. And we see it, obviously, with the team and how they're playing. And Barcelona, from the previous matches that they've played in La Liga, is different, man. It's completely crazy. It's completely crazy what they're doing in this match and how they're supposed to be playing with a team like this in third division, you're expecting 5-6 goals. Let's call it as is. You're expecting 5-6 goals, and I don't know where they were coming with it, honestly. They were going left, right, centre. They didn't know where. They had no patterns of play, Barcelona. They were just literally hitting a hoping, crossing into the box, trying to get something, trying to get a nick on somewhere from a header, and they did. They got it from Christensen, and it ended up, obviously, in the lead for Barcelona. From there on, you wouldn't see Guadalajara returning the favour. So, look, for me, the Copa del Rey, the very first few rounds, very, very tough to determine. You're very, very tough in these positions because you have teams from the lower leagues in Spain, and you only start really getting the tough opposition literally at the end towards like the quarter-final, especially for Real Madrid, Barcelona. Start getting the tougher oppositions in the quarters, the semis. So Barcelona, they struggled. They struggled to beat them. Very, very tough game. And I got to say, they escaped with it today. They escaped with it. They maybe could have been there for another 30 minutes and wouldn't score. If it wasn't for that Christensen header, they could have been there for a long time and they wouldn't have scored. It's crazy to me that Barcelona were like that. But look, standout players. Look, Ronnie Baldaggi was decent. Made some good passing movement here. Really controlled the ball decently well. Not really being phased by anything in the team. So, look, he will come in as your kind of reserve player that comes in and slots in for certain situations. And let's hope we see that with Real Madrid. Let's hope we see your Endricks or your Gonzalo Garcias. Let's see your Valdepeñas. Let's see, for example, different players that can make a stretch from the Castilla ranks and go to the main team and see how they can fit in into, obviously, the Copa del Rey, because we need to rest players for Sevilla. We need to rest players and we need to see what's happening, yeah? So it's crazy, man. It's mad, yeah? And look, there are so many players that, look, could easily make the first team for Barcelona today, but they didn't perform. They did not perform. I can go through the team and I can pretty much single out players that didn't perform today. And for me, the players that didn't perform today, one of them, Rashford, Marcus Rashford, was poor in finishing, quality, everything about him. He obviously made the run for the second goal. Great stuff. Look, Yamal was poor. Pedri came on, shouldered up the midfield. He had to bring Pedri on because the midfield was kind of getting lost. They didn't know what they were doing. Baldaggi was decent. Casado was poor today. I didn't see him making any inroads in midfield at all. Fermin Lopez, pretty decent. Frankie de Jong losing. Making silly passes at times. Like Frankie de Jong, you're not expecting to make chip passes into the box across. It's weird. Very weird from Frankie de Jong. Didn't really see him much. Eric Garcia, the defense really didn't have much to do, so you couldn't really say it. Ter Stegen had a decent performance, obviously, considering coming back. So, yeah, everybody was pretty horrible. Let's just call it as it is. Everybody was pretty trash. The only one I would see, not really many. Not really many. Like, Christensen was decent. Baldaggi was decent. That's it, really. Like, everybody was poor. I think they took... I tell you what, this is what happened. Barcelona took this game lightly. They thought they were going to go in and roll them over. That's it. You say Ronnie Baldaggi did nothing. Like, the passes that Fred threw to Rashford, that was clear-cut opportunity, yeah? He's decent in possession. Decent. That's all, yeah? Made a couple of clear-cut passes to Rashford. Rashford had the opportunity to score. Didn't take it. That's it. You get one chance, you get two chances, yeah? And Manuel Rodriguez saying that we did enough. Look, I've got to be honest, yeah? That's not enough. For Barcelona fans, that would be a shocking performance. A shocking performance. Barcelona fans won't be happy about that. Not at all. Not at all. They would be absolutely shocked at that performance. They were looking at saying, what on earth has the last few weeks gone? The inroads they made to get 4 points clear of La Liga, 4 points clear of Real Madrid, and they play like this against Guadalajara. That is shocking in itself. Really, really, really poor. But Rashford is not going to get in the game time. I mean, look, Rafinha, this guy is an absolute staple in that Barcelona team. He's there. He's going to be on the left wing. We know it. Rashford's not going to get the game time. Rashford, best guess is his substitution. That's it. That's what Rashford's going to become, a substitute. So for all the players that you've seen today, look, the starters, Yamal, absolutely. Fermin Lopez can get a start here and there. We know, obviously, Fermin Lopez, when he gets into the team and when he gets into his momentum, he's a really, really good player. Very, very prolific, great goal scorer. And like today was very just nothing at all from him. Very non-existent, making some runs here and there through the middle of the park. But Guadalajara, they set up really well. The defense was decent. And you can't say anything more than that, honestly. They did very, very well to defend off Barcelona. Better than some La Liga teams of recent. Look at Real Betis. They defended better than Betis did. They did. But Barcelona, they absolutely pumped Betis. But look, this match was just the insight into the Copa del Rey. Maybe you start seeing Barcelona just starting to get into their rhythm, get into their stride. Because I tell you what, Real Madrid on. watch tomorrow. I can guarantee that's going to be an absolute stink fest of a game. We've seen stink fest this season already. Yeah, we've seen stink fest this season already. Let's hope that Real Madrid come up with the goods, because Barcelona had it tough, and I'm sure that Real Madrid will have it tough as well. Yeah, and it's true. A lot of people saying in the chat, why is Guadalajara defending better than La Liga teams? They defended for their life, mate. They defended like they had no other games left in the season. They were absolutely sensational. And you've just got to literally take your hat off to them. They were absolutely fantastic. And I've got to say that a lot of their players and how they defended, I tell you what, they show some heart. They show some absolute passion out there. They defended better than Real Madrid have defended pretty much for this whole flipping last 2-3 weeks of absolute atrocity football that we've been watching. They put passion, they put flipping everything onto the pitch. They were getting into tackles, there was slide tackling, they were blocking shots, they didn't allow Yamal to step in at all. A lot of teams in La Liga, they allow Yamal to have free reign to step in on his left foot. We know what Yamal's going to do. Yamal carries the ball. Yava goes out on the outside. More times he cuts on his left, yeah? And he's about to lace his shot. Bro, he didn't have one opportunity pretty much to do that. Either they were being blocked or chased down or literally smothered. And Yamal had no space, no inroads to make at all. That's what he was doing. So Yamal had pretty much a 0 out of 10 performance. He didn't do nothing the whole game. This is Yamal we're talking about. So, look, these teams, I tell you what, they have great passion about them. They know what they're doing. They start the match with 100% guns blazing. They finish the match with 100% guns blazing. And that's what they do, you know? And it's crazy, mate. People saying in the chat, Yamal getting locked up by part-time waiters. That's crazy, mate. That's crazy. But it's true, mate. And look, it is funny, yeah? So, look, it's Haram Ball at its finest. But I tell you what, you have to play like that against Barcelona. You have to play like that. You have to. And it's going to be like that for the season. Obviously, in terms of the Copa del Rey, you're going to have your lower league teams. They're going to defend for their absolute life. And we're going to see it coming, obviously, with Barcelona. But anyway, guys, honestly, it's ended up 2-0 to Barcelona. They did the job at the end of the day. That's all that counts as well for Barcelona and Barcelona fans. But I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm going to end it with the 5 minutes. Just the last thing I'm going to say, and then I'll get onto a few comments, guys, with you guys. Yeah, and obviously read a few comments. Just the last 2 minutes, what I'm going to say. Barcelona, they need to perform better in the Copa del Rey. If they think they're going to be the same team that they did last year, they win the domestic treble, they win the Super Cup of Spain, La Liga, Copa del Rey, they definitely need to perform better. They cannot be like this in these kind of games against this kind of opposition and try to work it cutesy into the box and try to pass it into the box. It ain't going to work. Sometimes you just need to lace a shot early, get a goal, and then the team will open up, and then the world is your oyster, because then you start having so many channels to run into. You saw Koundé even overlapping after they scored their first goal. Crazy, man. They just start making like crazy runs. You see Yamal having space. You see Rashford having space. That's what happens when you have the space and time to do it, but you need to get the goal first. Otherwise, the team will defend for their lives. And that's it, really. That's all we're going to say, guys, yeah? But anyway, let's get into a few comments, guys. They defended just like Osasuna. Absolutely. Absolutely. Haram ball at its finest. We know that, yeah? The problem in the pitch is too small. Parking the bus works for these kind of teams. Yeah, it's true. The atmosphere is small. We've seen Vallecano. Vallecano has one of the smallest stadiums in La Liga. They don't park the bus, but the atmosphere itself feels closed in. And it's a different kind of a situation for a lot of these players. So, yeah, bigger fish to fry, Barcelona. Yeah, imagine. Imagine if they keep on saying that. That's crazy, yeah. And no one got injured. Got pretty much full squad. Let's see what happens. That's what I was saying. So, essentially, obviously, with Rafinha getting rested, Rafinha's going to be the main player against Villarreal. We know that. They're going to go against Villarreal, La Ceramica. They have to win that. They win that. Barcelona have literally got 75-80% in this La Liga title already. And Real Madrid got to play Sevilla at home. Look, I could see that result going. I could see Real Madrid and Sevilla going horribly wrong. I can see it right now because Sevilla, I don't think it'll be the same what they did to Barcelona. But I tell you what, their speed on transition with our open defense, Sevilla could definitely cause us problems. Yeah. So Barcelona, they will just take care of their game against Villarreal away from home. That game was going to be initially played in the US. We all know the debacle about that. Everybody banded together, said no to this US game. It's going to be played in La Ceramica. Villarreal have a chance to upset Barcelona, and Villarreal have a chance also to get into a situation where they're cementing their place in Europe as well. They beat Barcelona at home, and they have a lot of games to see. They're cementing their place in Europe because Villarreal are pretty much the third best team in Spain at the moment. Even though in Europe they're doing absolutely atrociously, I think they just concentrate in Spain. I don't think they care about the Champions League. Champions League is just there for the sake of it, yeah? So Villarreal, they're going to have a chance to beat Barcelona, but Barcelona resting players, you see Rafinha, resting Pedri, even though Pedri came on later towards the game. They're going to have a huge game. And this game, this weekend, is going to be huge for Barcelona. So Villarreal, obviously, let's see how that happens. But Real Madrid need to take care of their own business against Talavera. Then, obviously, take care of business against Sevilla. Because Sevilla is going to be a tough game, guys. Yeah? Let's not pull the wool over his eyes. Sevilla is going to be a very tough game. So, unfortunately, look, but Real Madrid fans may be getting giddy now. Oh, you only managed to score 2 goals against Guadalajara. But guess what? We're 4 points behind Barcelona in La Liga. So, unfortunately, the situation remains as this. Look, to be honest, I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less that Real Madrid win the Copa del Rey. Honestly, they're going to win the Copa del Rey. Fine, whatever. Fine, another trophy to the cabinet. But unfortunately, La Liga's the main prize, yeah? And if we don't win La Liga this season, then you know what? It's a whole revolution, the same thing. It's going to be a problem. Obviously, for Real Madrid fans are going to be wondering what the hell's going on. And yeah, same thing as always. Copa del Rey won't suffice for Real Madrid fans this season. Copa del Rey, even including the Super Cup, won't suffice for Real Madrid fans this season. That's a fact, yeah, even myself. Yeah, La Liga is the main prize, and Barcelona are firmly in contention to win La Liga. But guys, anyway, that's me done for today. Much appreciation for joining the stream. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let's see who is live currently, because I think we've got a lot of people live. I think Miguel's going to be live as well. Let's see who's live at the moment. Why is this thing is annoying to me? But anyway, I think honestly that Barcelona, they'll take care of business against Villarreal this weekend. Definitely take care of business against Villarreal. Absolutely, yeah. So they'll need to do that, and Real Madrid need to do business against Sevilla. That's it, pretty much. But guys, we're going to redirect to Miguel, aka Barca Volume. See you later, guys. And that's been my match reaction towards Barcelona 2, Guadalajara 0. Take care, guys. Adios, and a great hard-fought game by Guadalajara. Amazing stuff. Take care, guys. Adios.